Everybody, Cantonese Cat here again. Not here to do any emergency video or anything like that. I just want to make a video because I have something to say. The something to say is I see a few things that really is making me feel that this whole sell-off is just a bunch of BS. First of all, just looking at some of the support levels over here, if you look at the indexes, I'm going to go through them kind of real quick. I'm not going to go through in detail. If you look at the indexes, for the S&P 500 is still pretty far away from the monthly Tenkan here. If you look at the weekly too, is really right at the bull run support band. Like these are really finding some longer term support here, back testing it. We dipped below that in August, was able to bounce right back, and then right now we're just kind of back testing it again on really like no volume at all. This is very, very suspicious. Like this, before you had the downtrend of 3 weeks in a row and it was increasing volume. That was a little bit concerning. That was going to have a big, huge flush, right? Sure enough, we have a capitulation that happened over here. Went up on declining volume, and then we had this big giant red candle over here, but really on no volume. So this really does feel a little bit manipulative. Maybe they're trying to buy behind like with dark pool and things like that. I don't know, but this really feel like pretty scammy to me. QQQ, same thing. You have a second red candle here in a row, but really on no volume here at all. Again, rather suspicious, right? I don't know what to really think of that necessarily. IWM, same thing, kind of back testing the below support band over here. Looking like so far is maybe wanting to hold, and there really has been like absolutely no volume this week. This whole sell-off has like absolutely no volume, right? And the whole thing too, if you look at the US dollar, like I cannot be bullish on the US dollar at this point. Just looking at multiple time frames, I'm going to get rid of the bull run support band here, but look at more like a monthly thing. Can it bounce from that short term, go up a little bit more? Sure it can. And then I'll kind of show you as to why that is. You look at Ichimoku cloud, looks like it may be a little bit bouncy here at the top of the Ichimoku cloud. I think through time is going to keep going down further, but it might enter the cloud and try and re-challenge it before going down. But this really does have like a rolling over look to that. Also just looking at the 20-month moving average, it looks like it's underneath the 20-month moving average. It looks like it really wants to go down further. Yields are just plummeting. You already knew that. I already knew that like almost like a year ago that it was going to go down because it was really just going up on exhaustion, and right now it's going down. And as it goes down, I guess a lot of people are getting really scared. But overall, where are you going to put the money? Where are you going to put the money? They're going to keep printing money. This is a U.S. money supply. They're going to keep printing money. Where are you going to put the money? You're going to put them in as cash to earn what, like less and less interest through time? Is that what you're going to do? Are you really going to end up getting scared and sell stocks when really like not many people are selling? And this whole thing looks like it's just them trying to backtest some levels and trying to see whether or not they can get you to get rid of your stock and give it to them. I don't know. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? Bitcoin, what is Bitcoin doing? Well, Bitcoin is doing a couple of things. Bitcoin right now is touching the lower Bollinger Band, right? Almost finding support right there at the lower Bollinger Band right there, right? Could it go down further? Yeah, it can. Where can it potentially go to? Well, it could potentially go down to, I'm going to show you, Ichimoku cloud down here. Where is it going to hit? Is it going to hit there this week or next week? I don't know. If it's going to hit, where could the price be? It's going to be around $53,038 or $39, give and take, right? So you don't really have that much further to go. Probably hit the cloud at some point. And the whole thing about the miners too. A lot of people are just like super bearish on miners. And you have the right to be. Obviously, the price action has just been absolutely ridiculously bad, right? But I still think that even though it, for example, I'm going to go through a couple of them. For CleanSpark, I think it's finally getting close to hitting the 100-week moving average. And it's been a pretty important resistance zone over here, support, resistance. And right now we're finally back testing the support. Right now, the 100-week moving average is 8.06. We're not quite there yet, but maybe we'll hit that by the end of today on like absolutely no volume at all. There is absolutely no volume in terms of this down move. It's been going on down for about 7 weeks now on declining volume, and the volume is really truly exhausting. There are two ways for you to bottom. One way is for you to have capitulation, where just everybody just wanted to sell and just everybody just can't get out enough, right? Fast enough, right? So that's one way to to get a bottom. The other way to get a bottom is really to have a little bit of exhaustive volume, which is basically what happened over here too, right? Like you basically have no volume towards the end. All it takes just a little bit of volume pick up before you have price just go all the way from like $3 all the way to like, something ridiculous like 25, right? Right now there's no volume as it went down from like $20 all the way down to like $8. It's just been on declining volume, and right now these last two candles over here, even the price went from like 12 to 13 all the way down to like 8. There's like absolutely no volume, so this is not sustainable. Wherever's going on, whenever it reverses, it's going to end up reversing in a hurry, and it's also about to hit a very important, resistance flip support zone over here. Mara is dipping underneath the 13.72 of the 100-week moving average. It's been serving as some pretty decent support and resistance zone as well over time. Right here is a support, here is support, and then we broke down underneath of it. Here's resistance, and we've been flipping it back into support. So far, we're still testing support on low volume. Like there's absolutely no volume this week. This whole sell-off is on absolutely no volume. It's hitting a very important support zone. Even if it closed underneath 13.72 today, and there's a chance it may actually close above of it, even though it hits and it closes below it today, I'm not sure if I trust the move because there's no volume. It's very, very important to look at volume, right? Bitfarms, actually, it doesn't, like the 100-week moving average is not as important for Bitfarms, but it's just basically on no volume either. Cyber, even if you have like this dilution news, it's also having this down move over here on like not much volume here at all, and it's rising. So I don't think it's going to be a very bad resistance to challenge. I mean, it might take another couple of weeks to kind of reclaim it now that we've lost it, if we end up closing the week underneath 2.89, which we probably will. But there's just like declining volume. There's no volume at all, right? Irene, a little bit more volume over here, but I think this is one of the better looking charts. I think if, instead of looking at 100-week, is trying to re-challenge this whole horizontal zone over here around $6.5. Just like you have some price history over here and over here, as well as over here. It's just trying to back test that zone. So far it's looking pretty decent. Wolf has just been really outperforming. It's been back testing this zone over here and this zone over here. There's really nothing like bearish about Terra Wolf. BTPT had already back tested the 100-week moving average, is maybe getting a little closer to it. So far it's got like a very bad looking Marubozu candle, so next week you might have some bearish continuation to try and hit that zone. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of confluence in terms of support underneath, right? HUD8 has broken underneath of that, but HUD8 also has been one of those underperformers too previously until later in the cycle. So I don't have a position in HUD that doesn't really, the current price action doesn't really bother me that much, as much because you just have a little bit of a higher high over here compared to there, and here is still a little bit of a relatively higher low compared to that, right? Riot is one of the bad ones that I think it's really getting close to like the bottom, because it's really finally hitting some of the zones over here. And I think you're going to probably end up getting some pretty decent support on no volume. The whole sell-off of Riot is on no volume, right? HUD8 on no volume. BTPT on no volume. Nobody wants to sell. Nobody wants to sell, right? Bitcoin, no volume, right? Ethereum, this week, no volume. Dogecoin, on Binance and on Coinbase, on this big giant downtrend over here, no volume, right? I mean, how can I buy this? How can I be fearful? Look at what GME is doing. Look at what GME is doing. I'm going to turn off this over here. GME is pumping on a day like today. GME is pumping on a day like today. I've been talking about how GME has a bullish chart, is pumping on a day like today. AMC is pumping on a day like today, right? Another thing I want to show you is the others chart. The others chart is basically the cryptocurrency market cap, excluding the top 10 coins. So this is really like the altcoin index, if you will. It really shows you whether or not it's risk on or risk off. First of all, others chart here is doing better than like Bitcoin is doing better than, including Ethereum is also doing better than excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like altcoins are really holding pretty well today compared to Bitcoin, and that's not like a really like a bad risk off environment, right? If I also just pull up the 20-month moving average, we're really right at support over here, right? And I've been showing this over and over again. You have a trend line that I already drew that. You have a trend line over here, and it's still back testing and support. So we are actually at support on a lot of different scale, on a lot of different assets. And I'm just not buying this down move so far. Like, but really, there's no volume. And when there's no volume, I'm skeptical. I'm going to call this BS. I'm going to call this BS. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I go down with it further, then that's okay. But I'm going to basically call this whole move BS based on technical analysis, based on what I see the market makers are doing. I'm not going to let them screw me over. And if I'm wrong, if I'm getting a little bit too emotional, if I'm wrong about it, then I'm wrong. But I'm seeing things that are beyond emotional. I'm getting emotional because I'm seeing things, not because price is down, not because I feel that, hey, price is going down, we must have not much further to go, right? You don't know that. Sentiment is terrible right now, though. And on no volume. That really does get me think twice. Anyway, I just want to give you a quick video talking about the market, talking about Bitcoin, talking about the altcoins market, talking about Bitcoin miners. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, great. I might do more. Take care. Bye.